I'm here to oppose the vacation of the north side of the street. I think that we need to use best practices, and this is hardly best practices. I cite to you one of the cases from the ACLU letter, Wood versus State. This is a situation that some of us are personally familiar with, who have tried to collect petitions for some of our candidates. For example, I did for one of the city council candidates at the Northeast Publix shopping center. Chased a couple times, as was the candidate, as were other people trying to help her. There's a case in point that cited Wood versus State, where a candidate trying to collect signatures was arrested in that kind of situation with the claim that this is public space. And he didn't want to pay the qualifying fee, was arrested, and challenged it. And the challenge was successful. And this is what the appellate court held. Article 1, Section 5 of the Florida Constitution, which protects the right to petition as a form of democratic expression at its purest, prohibits a private owner of a quasi-public place from using state trespass laws to exclude peaceful political activity. What we're going to run into here is, if we go forward with this, there's still going to be challenges. There are still constitutional rights with what is being prevented. So my suggestion is this. We use best practices, and I refer to Costa Rica. We were there recently. I delivered a letter to Arias. And the man, I got there on a Wednesday at noon, and it was in Arias's hands at 5 o'clock. His chief science advisor, when I said, we're coming down there, you don't have a military. You're one of the few countries in the world that doesn't have a military. In 1948, the president said, look, we're going to not buy soldiers and tanks and guns anymore. We're going to buy teachers, and we're going to buy schools. And you know what? Their literacy rate is higher than ours in the United States. So I said to him, do you train your people in nonviolence? How do you get by without a military? And he said, well, the way in Costa Rica is we talk it through. There was some discussion this morning, talking it through, by some on the council saying, well, up to $6 million. Does that mean you'll only spend $1 or $2? We heard from the people at Baywalk, the leadership of Baywalk, that they insist on this control. I negotiated when I was at the Labor Department, where I was a union officer. We represented 5,000 employees with tough negotiations. You need to press these people saying, well, why is this impossible? But more, educate them to what the Constitution involves so that they educate the lessees.